Well, here we are on a beautiful day in January. I love saying the words beautiful day and January in the same sentence. It just makes me feel really good. But in either case, it's hay hauling day. So let's get going. Well, the field grass is getting pretty low right now, and it's gonna start getting cold this coming weekend, so we wanna make sure they're eating nicely, probably into February at least. So that means we're gonna need to haul some hay. The amount of cows I've got out here, they eat roughly a bale a week if there's not much in the field. If there's a bunch in the field for them to eat, it'll be less than that, but typically they go through about a bale a week, all 11 of them. So for that, we're gonna try to bring in at least 6 bales, maybe 8, we'll see. And what you'll immediately notice is I don't own a pickup truck, but I do own a 4Runner. And a 4Runner, in my opinion, is the greatest SUV ever to be made because it gives you many of the options of a pickup truck in an actual SUV, including things like fairly easily towing a trailer with a couple of large round bales on it. And I've had another video in the past talking about my love of the rental trailer, as I also don't own a trailer. So doing this cost me about 40 bucks for a day to rent a trailer and do this, but again, if I do this 2 to 3 times a year, still massively cheaper than purchasing a trailer myself, so that works out. So let's get these bales unloaded and we'll go back for another round. In case anyone is wondering if I'm just setting them in the dirt, no, I'm not. From the clearing project for putting the fence through the woods, I had a whole bunch of trees left over, so put some of those down, and then actually I also had some pallets, so put those out too. So we'll stack probably the first 3 there and the next 3 in front of them on the pallets, and that'll be decent. They're not going to be far off the ground and they'll still be touching a little, but it's a whole lot better than if they were just sitting out in the open on the ground. So this is where the fun part happens, because it rained a couple days ago and the road is really fun. So we're gonna try to get through this with the trailer empty. I should note that the last load, I didn't show it, but I did not make it through it with the trailer full, and I actually had to get the tractor out to pull the 4Runner through it with the trailer on it. But I'm hopeful that with the trailer empty, we will make it through. So let's give this a shot. Well, if I'm being honest, I actually didn't have a whole lot of faith that that was gonna work. So, as you can see, it didn't. So we're gonna go get the tractor and pull this thing out. Luckily, pulling this thing is pretty easy because we've got tow hooks in the front. Unlike most SUVs, it's actually pretty easy to get under here and hook to this thing with the tractor. So we'll get it pulled out and then we'll get going. So obviously the better way of doing that would have been to have 2 people and have one person in the 4Runner driving and one person in the tractor pulling, but it's just me. So put the 4Runner in neutral, pull it out with the tractor, and we should be good to go from here. So let's get this show on the road. Well, I have no intention of trying to go through the mud this time. So this time, we're just gonna go get the tractor. We'll let the tractor go through the mud and we'll unload the hay bales from here. Well, it's much faster when you don't have to pull the 4Runner and the trailer out of the mud. So that definitely is a time saver. So I'm gonna make another run, grab a couple more, and we'll be right back. Well, I suppose if there's anything to learn today, it's that I have very impatient cows who love to shove their head directly into a new bale of hay the moment they can. So yeah, that was neat. You guys are incredibly impatient. You could have waited just like a minute. But anyway, it made a little bit of a mess before I got the hay ring on it, but it's okay, we'll get through. You may be wondering why I have put out a new bale there, and just over here I have the rest of the previous one. That reason is simple. This coming weekend, it's beautiful out right now. It's about 60 degrees and sunny, so I couldn't ask for better weather right now. But this weekend, we're gonna go down to a low of about 8. And don't know if I'm gonna be able to come out, so I wanted to put 2 bales out and make sure they have enough to get through this little cold spell. But what I've got out, this should last them pretty much through the rest of next week, so that's okay. We got some other projects coming up. We got to build the legs for our mineral feeder. And we're going to build those out of some of the steel posts that were left over, or some of the steel, I should say, from cutting posts for the fence. So we'll use some of that old rusty drill stem pipe for that. But we got that coming up. We got to do another round of tilling in the area that we're going to be seeding soon, just to work that up and make sure it's good and ready. And I'm debating about working up another small area just to test with that in a different part of the field. So we'll see. We'll see how much my ambition lines up with the amount of time I have, because those two things never seem to go together. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you soon.